Hi, my name is Daniel, and today I want to tell you my story. It's not just a story about learning English, it's a story about never giving up on your dreams. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to speak English. I used to watch movies and listen to songs in English, but I didn't understand a single word. Still, I dreamed of the day I could speak fluently and talk to people from all over the world. In school, we had English classes, but honestly, they weren't very good. The teacher only taught us basic grammar and made us memorize long lists of words. We never practiced the speaking, and I felt like I wasn't learning anything. Every time I tried to speak, I got nervous and made mistakes. I started to think maybe English is not for me, but deep inside, I knew I couldn't give up. After finishing high school, I decided to take a bold step. I wanted to join an English institute. I heard they had great teachers and fun classes, but there was a big problem. I didn't have enough money. My parents worked very hard, but we couldn't afford the expensive monthly fees. At first, I felt hopeless. I thought, if I can't go to an institute, how will I ever learn? But then I realized something important. There's more than one way to reach your goal. If I couldn't pay for classes, I could teach myself. I started with free resources online. I found videos on YouTube where people taught English step by step. Some videos were funny, and others were very serious, but I learned something from each one. I also downloaded free apps on my phone that helped me practice vocabulary and grammar. Every day, I made a schedule. I promised myself I'd study English for at least 1 hour, no matter how tired or busy I was. I practiced reading short stories, listening to podcasts, and even trying to write my own sentences. But the hardest part was speaking. To practice speaking, I used a trick I saw in one of the videos. I would stand in front of a mirror and pretend I was talking to someone. I felt silly at first, but it really helped me gain confidence. I also recorded myself speaking and listened to it later to find my mistakes. One day, I got brave and decided to practice my English with a real person. I joined a free online language exchange where I could talk to native speakers. My first conversation was a disaster. I forgot words, mixed up grammar, and felt so embarrassed. But instead of giving up, I told myself, this is how I learn. Each time I made a mistake, I learned something new. If I didn't know a word, I wrote it down and looked it up later. If I couldn't understand what the other person was saying, I asked them to repeat it slowly. Little by little, I started improving. To make learning more fun, I used modern techniques. I changed the language on my phone and computer to English so I could see new words every day. I also watched my favorite TV shows with English subtitles. At first, it was hard to follow, but soon I started understanding more and more. In it, I wrote down every new word I learned, but I didn't just write the word. I also wrote an example sentence and drew a little picture to remember it better. It made studying much more enjoyable. After months of practicing, I realized something amazing. One day, I was listening to a song, and for the first time, I understood the lyrics. I felt like magic. I smiled so much that day because I knew I was finally making progress. After understanding the song lyrics, I felt a new level of confidence. It wasn't just about the words anymore, it was about realizing that all my hard work was paying off. I decided to push myself even more. I started looking for opportunities to use English in real life. One day, I met a tourist in my city who was lost and needed directions. He asked me, "Can you help me find the train station?" For a moment, I panicked. I thought, what if I say something wrong? But then I remembered all those hours practicing in front of the mirror. I took a deep breath and answered, "Yes, the train station is this way. Go straight, and you will see it on the left." The tourist smiled and said, "Thank you so much. Your English is very good." Those words were like music to my ears. I couldn't believe someone thought my English was good. From that day on, I set bigger goals for myself. I decided I wanted to take an international English exam I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was ready for a challenge. I started studying for the exam by focusing on all the skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. For listening, I watched interviews and podcasts, trying to catch every detail. For reading, I started with simple articles and slowly moved to more advanced ones. Writing was still hard for me, but I practiced by writing short essays about my day or my thoughts on a topic. For speaking, I found a new method: shadowing. I would listen to a short sentence in English and immediately repeat it, trying to match the pronunciation and intonation. It was like imitating an actor in a movie. It felt strange at first, but it worked wonders. Finally, the day of the exam arrived. I was nervous, but I reminded myself of everything I had done to prepare. During the listening section, I understood almost everything. In the reading section, I took my time to focus and answered carefully. Writing was still challenging, but I gave it my best effort. The speaking section was the part one feared the most, but when it was my turn to talk, I surprised myself. The words came naturally, and I didn't feel as nervous as before. A few weeks later, I got my results. When I saw my score, I couldn't believe it. I had passed with flying colors. I ran to tell my parents, and they were so proud of me. Now I look back at my journey, and I feel so grateful for all the challenges. They made me stronger and more determined. Learning English taught me more than just a language. It taught me patience, discipline, and the importance of never giving up. I'm still learning every day, but now I use my English to help others. I teach kids in my neighborhood who want to learn but don't have access to expensive classes. Seeing their excitement reminds me of my own journey, and it feels amazing to give back. This is my story. If you're struggling with something, whether it's English or another goal, remember that you can do it. Take small steps every day, stay focused, and believe in yourself. Trust me, the effort is worth it. I hope you liked this story. If you could improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend. Thank you very much for your support. Take care.